Welcome to part two of the Greek farewell. Yeah, figured I'd show you guys the little dragon egg because I didn't get a chance to in the last little bit here. So here's the dragon egg. Looks pretty cool, huh? Alright, just getting back to the Spawn origins. And, oh, that was weird. Well, we'll just take this minecart over to the other place. Not like it's gonna matter tonight. Alright. We'll go in here. And this area leads us down to map 9. It's not actually map 9. It's just what we call it because that's what it was when we first created the world. Created the map. It came up as map 9. So we call it map 9. Makes it easier. And all that fun stuff. But yeah, I went out in search for new land, somewhere fun, somewhere different, away from the terrain that we had here. I just kind of wanted something away from everybody, where I had lots of water that I could just have a flat, level surface that I could build things on, once I decided I wanted to do an amusement park. So I went flying around, and I didn't use creative mode at all. Even for the design plans, everything that I created was in this world, created from scratch. So, but so I had no blueprints to go with. But I went flying around trying to decide where I wanted it to be far enough away from the spawn that people weren't, like up on top of me every day, all day. But I also wanted it close enough that it was reachable and, manageable. Um, so I picked a spot and then I decided to set up the rail so that I could go to and from with a little bit more ease. Uh, being a stay-at-home mom, I can't always fly and get from place to place and keep working. Sometimes I have to set my remote down and take a break. Because, like, when the boys are fighting, I have to pause recording sometimes because they get bad. Things like that. So, I decided to set up this rail system, that way I could be hands-free if need be. Um, but it goes through a nice little village here. And I wanted to make it a little bit more, well, hey, let's take a tour of everything along the way here. Because then we come over here into where the azalea trees are. Looks like someone shot some arrows recently. It looks like there's some sheep glitching out down there. And then there's another village right here. It's so close to the other one, it's kind of neat that they were that close. But different types. But yeah. Um, so yeah, in creating this, it took me far too many daylight cycles to get this rail system set up. Because I had to count to make sure that there was enough powered rails. I had to count to make sure that they were spaced out right. I had to place all of the stone first, along with the torches, which it looks like one was busted out back there by someone. Along with the torches to keep it lit while I was going, because if I didn't have a torch while it was lit while I was going, I had creepers trying to blow me up, I had mobs spawning in, monsters spawning in on me, zombies, skellies, you name it. I also had to make sure I brought a bed with me, because I started having, the little night terror guys coming out after me. That's what I call them, night terror. But yeah, I had them coming out after me, and yeah, it was stressful. Very. time consuming, that is for sure, because I mean, I am a good almost daylight cycle away from where everybody else was. So it was far enough, but not too close, but not too far at the same time. It was, just in that perfect range. So yeah, we should be coming up and starting to see things here momentarily, if I'm looking at my surroundings appropriately. We should be starting to see some things on either side. On the right will be the building set up that I made for everybody. There it is. You see the edge there. And on the left will be the Sphinx that I built, which we'll see that a little bit more momentarily here in a little bit. There we go. And here's the house that I built for everybody. That way that they had a safe place to be at. Because again, this train ride takes almost a full daylight cycle. So if you're not watching it, you can get yourself caught up in the dark, and that's not a good thing. I do not like the sound of the grass when you jump on it. Alright, well I had my sugarcane, I had my own bamboo here. Phoenix actually came and put these snowmen up here to try to help protect things because it was pretty bad there for a while there. There's still a hole. I also brought some honeybees here for different reasons. And then he set up that one before we even had the concrete maker set up. Now, I'll go into the concrete building first. And I say concrete building because it is literally just a building for making concrete. Looks like... Okay, yeah, that's right. I needed some of that wood. Okay, so we'll spruce wood. So we'll come into the concrete room, or concrete building first. Some people, they use TNT and things with their concrete, but we wanted to find a way that, we could still use our pickaxes and still be able to make concrete without blowing anything up, but also having it be a safe spot. We wanted to make sure that we could come up here and go to sleep, so we have a little, loft up here, I guess you could say. And then, as you see, you've got all these pistons here and these pistons here. Now, how do we get over there? It's just right around the corner. It's the same type of concept as the other smaller concrete maker. Do I have any? I don't think I have any on me. I might have some inside the big house, actually. Yeah, let me go grab some concrete. Okay, so I found some concrete powder, and so I'm going to show you guys kind of how this works. It's actually about as simple as it can be. You can hear it working in the background as it's pushing it across. And what's really cool is once it reaches its max push, it'll stop. I won't be able to do anything until I hit one button, or two buttons technically. Should be getting pretty close here. There we go. Okay, so if we were to go, as you see, it's completely full. Here's the fun part, is we're gonna go up. And we're gonna hit that, and it gives one good push. And now we're ready to go again. So it pushes that up because a piston, you know, it can only push so far. Well, now we're going to make a row below this one, and then we push it up. And what we did was we would fill this whole thing until it wouldn't go any further. And when it wouldn't push any further, then we'd go in and we'd break them all down. Which is how we got a lot of the concrete that I used over in my other build here on the map. And it was, yeah, pretty neat. But that's pretty much how the concrete maker works. I don't need to grab all this because I'm not really, yeah. But you see it coming in underneath, and then I would do the same thing. I'd push the bottom button to knock it up, and then push the other button to push out the next row, and go from there. So yeah, it's a pretty neat structure set up there. I hear a skelly somewhere, I just don't see him. It's kind of weird. Of course I have flames too, so it could be that, maybe. But, so anyways, I had a spot over here where I had some trees, little area that you could go down in the water and just kind of look around, because there is a nice little guardian area there that we didn't turn into a farm, but we did turn into something else, and I'll show you guys that here momentarily. There's another one of my gardens. This one we did the hoppers at the front of for the collections to make it easier. I had my pumpkins and watermelon here, just like on the other farm. And then inside here, it's nothing immaculate. Okay, so here we are. This is where the green arrow is right now. And then this is the amusement park area. And then there's still a big map. And then I cleared these ones. So yeah, got my anvils for labeling, naming things that I was working on. Really hard. You'll see. It took me a lot of XP, a lot of grinding, and a lot of hours. But like I said, nobody's getting on anymore, so no point in continuing to go when nobody's going to be using it. This is what I used to get to the other side of this map, but I also needed resources when I got here. So it was sort of a win-win. We had an AFK spot here, but the only thing is we don't need the AFK like this anymore because it now takes food from you when you try to use the water from the AFK, or in the AFK. It's what it was doing to us. So we don't use that no more, or anymore. Whatever version of English you want to use, I guess. And then I made this little roundabout area in here for the minecarts. Let me break it. Maybe. Okay. And this was just to stop minecarts, because, you know, that way everybody had a chance. And then we'll go through the Sphinx. This Sphinx right here took me a long time. Like I said, I did not have a creative mode version of the Sphinx created. So this was all done on this platform here. No cheats, no nothing else. I'm gonna get up here and in the bed really quick. I don't like to do any recordings at nighttime. Just because it's one more thing I gotta deal with. Okay. So we'll go fly over the Sphinx real quick. But yeah. I had fun crafting all of the decor and trying to get this pattern going. It kind of had like the, you know, like the leopard kind of look to it, and I had to do the claws. And then I just boxed it up, put lights in to help it glow up a little bit, and decided on just using black and white, because that's what I had handy at the time. And then I just kind of did a short end. This is just a small Sphinx. in the spectrum of things. Okay, so this, I posted a couple other videos about it, and this is the amusement park. Alright, so over here, we'll go ahead and we'll slide down a little bit so I can get back down at the entryway. I spent some time decorating. There's a couple little fountains and benches. Got a bench right here at the entrance. And you got the enter signs here that say to go that way, you know, like any normal entrance to a theme park, I guess you could say, that's wide. Then we have this map here. This is what everything looks like from above. And then you come in. And I haven't decorated these guys, but that was the intent. But you'd be able to grab your own little map that you could see, you know, hey, this is what it looks like, you know, whatever. And the boys are fighting again. Drake, please stop. Drake? No, no. No more. Stop making your brother mad. Bring him here, now. Sorry, I have to make sure that I'm still parenting at the same time. Put him down. Go. He was clanking styrofoam together and making his brother scream. Okay, well this is something that we had recently added in here that we were gonna have fun with everybody, you know? So Augustus was getting ready to do the redstoning for all of this, but we had the ATM, you know. Tokens, 1 stack for a diamond, so they could take the tokens out, get their diamond, put it in here, all that fun stuff. And then, we'll get inside last. I kind of want to, for a minute I was about to pull out my bow, but then I remembered we created these guys. So, this is a little bit of the fun that I had, and Augustus had. Augustus, again, went to get the examples on how to make these guys look different and style different, but we created this, had a little flower shop here, and then we got a guy who is apparently shoving a cookie in his face, trying to eat it, I'm guessing. Yeah. And a token put per spot, you know, a food fuel station, if I could talk. But yeah, these had lots of food here that I spent hours making. Then we come around here, and this is the Lighthouse Motel. That just scared me. Basically, a hotel, you go in, you know, there's beds. That's pretty much it. Beds, every level, that way that anyone can put whatever they want, wherever they want, and go wherever they want inside there. And then over here, we've got Mr. Skelly Dude, who is selling honeycomb blocks, honeycomb, yeah. Then we come back here and we've got the vines, moss blocks, you know, all that fun stuff. And the boys are arguing again, so do not mind them in the background. I promise you, no one is getting hurt. And then you've got icy bumper boats. Basically, like any other ice thing, you just sit on it and you can try to run into each other and ram each other, and that was the purpose. More chips. Let me have it. Here, Aiden. That's it. Get up. Thank you. He decided he wanted to sit on my foot. That hurt. Okay. And then up here we have the water slide. And that is what the geode looks like. And this pack is pink instead of purple. So we had some of those blocks. That's all that's left. And a person could either, you know, go down the water slide by themselves, or they could come over here, get in a boat, and take a nice slow ride down and look at everything. Or they could speed it up if they wanted to, you know, whatever they felt like. It's just for fun. It's just not, you know, anything extravagant. And then this was one of the later builds that I did. This is the exit. I should have known that. We'll go up here, grab a minecart, and try to... That didn't go where I wanted it to. You have to start with it back here, get in, and hit the button. And we'll see if I can keep up with all the turns. It's been a while. Oh, a little bit behind on that one. But I had some fun building this one, just because it, you know, it's a typical standard roller coaster. It wasn't anything chaotic, and yeah, just your regular everyday roller coaster. And it's spawn proof down here too, so nothing can spawn below us. No mobs, at least. Now, the camels are still finding their way in, somehow. And there's a fly that keeps bugging me right now. But yeah, the camels are somehow finding their way in. Still trying to figure that one out because everything should be spawn proof. But they could be spawning in here on the block. There's lights underneath all of this, so there's no mobs that can spawn. And then this was the, you know, water area. Get in the boat. Okay, that threw me far. That was not intended to happen like that. Ah. And you just gotta turn with the boat, you know, let it drive you. You know, kind of like a lazy river kind of thing. Nothing fancy schmancy, of course. Just something that I decided to have fun with. Because I'm like, you know, you always need a water ride. Always. Okay, so we'll grab that. Trying to do whatever I can before the sun goes down. I think I still have some time. I think. Oh yeah, and I popped up this iron golem here. That's what they look like. He's the bodyguard of the area. We were trying to find a way to light this up with like twinkling red lights, you know, from like redstone, and we just never got to it. We've been trying. We were trying to figure out how we wanted to do it because we wanted it to look, you know, neat, not, yeah, but yeah, we got this all built up. This one actually took me a while because of all the back and forth. Get in here because I think the sun is going down. I really don't... Yeah, the sun is going down. Okay. And in here, while I'm waiting for the sun to finish going down, I've got my Hercules, and of course Toothless. We've got the, you know, Mortal Kombat. Got Groot down there. You've got Meg, and then of course you just have a Greek. Because it's a Greek pack. Why not? You know? We've got my lovely sphinxes along the inside wall here. They also show on the outside. So yeah. And in here we had little stands, please recycle 1 bottle refreshments. We had different potions that were for sale. And then when you came down a couple notches, we had food that was for sale. Like funnel cakes and corn dogs, aka chicken legs. But yeah, just something fun. And then I built this ship here, which is in another one of my videos. Got the posters all up there along the sidelines, and it's just kind of like your typical ship ride. It goes back and forth. There's nothing special, nothing unique about it. It's just your typical everyday ship ride. I did build the ship all the way up. This is where the ride comes to on this side. And I just use banners to decorate. I even have the lookout perch up there. I built the captain's quarters. You can see all the lovely posters that I've chosen for that. This is where it comes up on this side. Got some more posters up in here. And then you can walk around up on this side, and you've got this back side here. And this is what I chose to do for the steering column. It's a little square, but the center circle. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that was this part of the build. And of course, you know, I got the nice little details here on the boat, so it was kind of something fun. And then this was one of my first bigger builds before the boat even. This one, if you're not ready for it, it'll give you a heart attack. Turn this on and get going. But it's because it throws you. So you're flying, and you think you're about to land in the water, but you don't. And if you're not ready for it, it'll startle you a little bit. Especially when, like, one of my last couple drops over there, I overshot it, and I died. And that was not good, so I had to restructure it. I also had to redo this one because it was dropping me in on, like, the last block or two, which was not good. But yeah, this drop is the one that I fell and it missed. That was bad. So I had to extend it just a little bit. And then we come over here. And voila, the end. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, too crazy. I mean, you could just grab a minecart and just take it with you on the whole thing. And then here we have the cart go round. Basically, you pop yourself in a minecart, push the button, and go. And you'll just go around and around in circles. And you could have someone going the opposite way, you could have someone else going the original way, whatever. Whatever floats your boats. This one, we actually wanted to have fun with people, but like I said, nobody's on. So, yeah, basically you put in a token, push the button, and stand here, and you get splashed. The only thing, though, is you didn't know what you were going to be getting. So, that's why it was a splash at your own risk kind of a deal. Just for fun. And then here we had dyes for sale. That guy's hand looks like it's coming out of his mouth. That's kind of crazy. And then here we have some more flowers and greenery for sale. And of course it's gonna rain, of course. Right here we have the parkour course that it's not impossible to get through, it's just very hard. Getting around this is okay. You can get back and forth all the way to that. But it's when you get to the curve and then trying to get to the end that'll get you. So one of the things there. I don't see anything spawning up here, so I think we're okay. I don't want to be, like, surprised and have something blow up behind me. It should be all spawn-proof, but yeah. And here we have bumper boats, where the water is chaotic, so it tosses you all around, and you never know where you're gonna hit or what you're gonna hit. Then right here we had another granary purchased area, and here is the infamous bounce house. I couldn't figure out what to do with all of the slime that I had built up from my excursions down below, and the bounce house is the first thing that actually came to me, which inspired me to do bounce house in the amusement park. Now the fun part is I made it with honey blocks and with slime, so technically I could sit here and bounce and just keep bouncing and bouncing, or I could come over here, climb back up, and then I could bounce into the slime box just for the fun of it. You know, like the sticky walls? I don't know. Some people might remember the Velcro walls that they used to have years ago, depending, I guess, how old you are. But yeah, that's kind of what that made me think of. So I did it, just to have some fun. And this is the last ride that I made, if I can get up here. And of course, you know, you had your zigzag patterns back and forth with the start sign that says start over here. It's got the carts and it tells you where to start. And this is the exit area. So, jump in here. I'm going to keep my sword with me just to be on the safe side, because you never know. But we have a underwater rail system, and we put those under here to make sure that nobody could drown. Typically we'd do like glass walls, whatever, but we decided not to this time. We decided to have it be as natural as possible. But those guys will try to chase you, so yeah. But here we are at the Sea Temple, and here comes the fun part. We managed to transition. It took us a while, but we managed to transition really well from the water to the dry land and the dry land to the water. But kind of nice dried out tour of the Sea Temple here. Which can be kind of fun, but I mean, it's also time consuming. But it's really pretty. And you gotta watch it, because sometimes things can still spawn, so I tell people, you know, it's an at your risk thing. And here we go, we're about to be going back into the water. And there we go. Perfectly lined up, and there's some dolphins there. They usually do a good job of trying to stick with you, and sometimes they'll swim behind you and with you, if they're in the mood. And then we go up here. And right at the end. So, we'll just take that with us. But yeah, that's all the rides here. This building itself took me a few days in real life, not just a few days in game, to build. I also have a little torch up here, because you know, you gotta think about it. In Greece, they've gotta have those big torches. So yeah, I made that. We have some zinery hanging from the ceiling that's helping light things up. And yeah, we'll go down inside really quick. Looks like it's starting to finally get actually dark. Good. I can always tell from how the shadow casts itself on the walls. Okay, so we were going to have a bunch of games here, like whack-a-mole and things like that. We have a bunch planned. A lot of the redstoning and everything else is already in here that we already had set up. We categorized and colored everything. We had another drink and food area over here. Right there. And then Augustus set this up. And he was going to be doing a couple more, but just hadn't gotten to it quite yet. And then there's this area where you get to stand here, take your bow, and every time that you got in there, it was a fireworks set off. So, but you had to hit the bullseye. Because if you hit... Oh, it was supposed to be just a bullseye. I guess it works differently now. That is weird. Anyways, but that's alright. But we had the cheat bows. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. Really? There we go. Arrows for everybody. All that fun stuff. And then under each area, I'm gonna go over here. I'm hoping I don't get blown up, but under each area is a room like this. It's a complete obsidian. Now, the reason I did complete obsidian is because there were quite a few times that creepers would spawn in here, even with the torches, which is why I'm glad they did the zero lighting. We also had witches that were spawning in here, but it keeps it from blowing up from the creepers. So, it kind of kept everything in here structurally sound and safe from that. But this is, yeah, it was still a work in progress, but if no one's going to be using it, then there's no reason to keep going. So we'll, yeah, closing up shop here. It kind of bums me out. I was looking forward to the fun, but it's alright. But we'll go ahead and we'll fly back over here, and yeah, this is just resource gathering stuff. Nothing too unique and nothing too special. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on the rail here. Toss this boat in here because I'm not gonna need it anymore. And I'm gonna be heading over back up to spawn so I can take you guys up north. Okay, well this video is probably taking a good long couple of minutes, and I thank you for everyone who's actually stuck through and watching the whole thing. 'Cause I'm not done yet. This world's been open for over a year now, so we did quite a bit. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put spawn here, and we're gonna head through. And our spawn area came through in the basalt area. I'll try to go this way to kind of show you guys a little bit. But yeah, it came through this area. It looks kind of neat with the patterns and designs. But yeah. And then Augustus stuck up all the way to the ceiling in here. At the time, of course. And the boys are getting upset again. Alright. So we will grab a boat and hurry up and jump in before anything spawns, because this was never finished and made spawn-proof completely. It looks cool though. And we had a couple little pathways that I broke out on this area that we were trying to use to get to different biomes, but the areas that I would try to come down at were over lava and things, so we just abandoned that thought. And yeah, here we are at the other side of things. I did tunnel a little bit more just because I was collecting resources one day and kind of decorated it up a little bit, but yeah. Let's get over here to Augustus's little... That was loud. To Augustus's little play area. I call it, it's like his play yard. It takes a second for everything to load in because there's so much happening here. Alright. So Augustus found this nice little island. Is what this started off as. Right here. You can see kind of where it went down. The island was a little bit taller. It got knocked down. And we knocked down the edges, and we went down and we used sponges and got all the water out of all the different nooks and crannies. He started filling in areas with glass. I was helping him quite a bit, gathering resources for myself and helping him because that's just how I am. I don't focus just solely on me. I help other people too. And then when I came up here, he had everything on this little platform in the middle. And so I decided one day I was gonna help him. Big time. So I moved all of his furnaces and all of his everything over here. And there's storage galore. He had mob heads here. He brought those down to me for my build on map 9. But in here, you've got the kelp growing up. I've got 3 buttons that can be pushed that sends the kelp up and over. And then it sends it right in here through the composter and into the bone meal. Pretty simple. I also made him a little farm to get him going for food to help him out. I also did sugarcane because he was in need of paper a lot. I did bamboo because, well, you always need bamboo. Watermelon. I also had some trees set up for him around here just to kind of help him out. And then I also went out this far and made a house for him. For other people to come up and help him, I made it bigger. I expanded on upstairs so he had places to store things. And I did all this for him. Jump back here. And this was the big, massive bedroom. I know it doesn't look like a bedroom, but each one of these spots where there's a double torch, which that bed was taken and torches weren't placed back down, but the double spaces here with the torches are bed spots for everybody to have a spot for their bed. I was trying my best with figuring out the, preventing spawn stuff and everything. So yeah, but this is the first start of the build that I started for him. And then we come over here. And right here, I was just basically using the basic furnaces to break down the jungle wood, make it into charcoal to put in here. Which, as you see, those are going. I got the boys yelling and screaming again. But this is the super smelter, and I got this set up. Normally he helps with this, but this time around I had done it myself. But basically it grabs items and drops them in. You can make it as long as you want, as big as you want. He's got fish galore right now. But and then back here you drop in the coal and stuff, which I just made one on our brand new server. So, but back here we've got more sea kelp, and that goes up and goes over and comes down in here, goes into this chest where the raw cod is right now, and then it gets dispersed throughout. And then down here we take this dried sea kelp and put it in for for fuel. So it's sort of like a multi thing. And then up here I created him a brewing area because he didn't have one yet, and that way if he wanted just to create stuff he could, he had a space. But I did it just for him. Nice like that. And then he's got his water bottles here for any potions he might need. Unlimited source of water. I mean, he already had an unlimited source of water, but this is cooler. And then I started getting all of his stuff put together, and I asked him to do a chest system so I could help him get things organized. And so he got a sorting system going, so you can see which ones have things that are full in them right now. We've used quite a bit of resources. But basically we could put a shulker box here, or we can drop items in these two chests, and it dumps into the system and goes down there and gets sorted. We also have a water elevator up and down to that area, which there used to be stairs. You see the stairs that are still there? Yeah, they're blocked up now. But it's just easier with the water elevator. But we have the boat ramp here with the nice lights there. And we have the villager spawner breeder that is getting overabundant. Then over there, you've got your normal guardian farm. Guardians come up, stand there AFK with a trident killer, and it kills them. You know, that kind of stuff. And then in here, we've got this I made. I kind of had an idea, and I went with it. This is the villager trading hall. Now, he has not finished it yet. Those villagers are supposed to be getting put in here, or we're supposed to be getting put in here. Again, it's getting shut down, so. But he started putting them in here. You know, you got your sharpness 5, and you got your silk touch person and stuff like that. And then if you come in here and you look around, you're like, you know, wow. It kind of has, you know, like that when you go to a mall, and the mall's got that glass that's just on the edge of the border, and you can't fall through, but you can look down. That's kind of what I was going for here. Yeah. And we've got the water elevator system, and if you look, you'll see that it goes through every level, and it gets smaller and smaller. That's because I can go like this, and go on to this level. But if I want to continue on to the next level, I just back myself up a little bit. Go over, 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 and over. And that's at the top. And you know you're at the top because you're on the sidewall. And the sun's starting to go down. But, yeah, this is basically the vibe I was going for, was, you know, the buildings where you can look down and get the glass that protects you kind of thing. Whee! Okay. We'll run out of here really quick and go to our bed. Because we don't want to be... This area... There's still some areas that spawn quite a bit up here. Some areas that spawn things quite a bit. So I try to play it as safe as I can. But, okay, so that's your villager trading hall that I built for him. And then he made this mob spawner before I got up here. But it doesn't work as great as it used to. He said that it was having a little bit of issues with certain updates that were coming out, so he really didn't use it much after a certain update came out. There's an AFK spot that went out of use with certain updates as well. And then we had to move the iron farm from the center platform because we were trying to move everything away from there that we could, except for the gold farm, for lag reasons, and to make sure that everything spawned correctly for different places. Again, another boat ramp here, but the iron farm is here, and I made this one for him, but he has it kind of set up to where it's kind of inoperable at this moment. He kind of lagged it out or glitched it or something, so it's not working right now. Oh, wow. Ooh. Alright, but this is a little AFK spot. Oh, sorry. I breathed in and something went down the wrong pipe. Alright, so as you see, they're all waterlogged back there. They're not even making anything, so yeah. Let me go over here. And we just never finished putting glass over this spot. We were gonna finish putting glass and then finish clearing out all the way down to bedrock. That was the plan, was this whole area was supposed to go down to bedrock. And it was gonna be nice and decorative in the end. But it just didn't get to that point. We have big projects, so our things take a long time. And then he's got this gold farm here, you know, turn it on, turn it off, things spawn in, fall down, gets killed by Trident Killer. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Your simple basic one. But yeah, he's got that set up here. He had a beacon here for a little while, but he moved it over to here so we could get down to bedrock. We've got a little water elevator here. He had a moss farm right there. Over here, he had a tree farm started and getting set up. He was playing with different concepts and different ideas to see what would and wouldn't work here in Bedrock. So yeah, that was part of his fun. And then, looks like over here he was working with something. I don't know exactly what though, because that was something that happened after I was done up here. So yeah, but that's it in a nutshell up here. Just somewhere that you can come, get XP, get resources that you need, and I made sure that he was set up with everything that he would need to survive up here in his own little playground. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go back through and get back to the main map. Okay, well you guys have had the official grand tour of this entire map. So you guys have seen all of my places, all of Augustus' places, all of Vampy's, Phoenix's, and Army's. Here's a nice little aerial view of our area. And mind you, like I said, this was originally water. So it was all added on to afterwards. There was no preset, no pre-planning, and no creative mode was used in designing this area. So, again, thank you for watching so much, and I will bid adieu to this grid pack tonight. And yeah, if you guys would like to, feel free to comment, tell me what you feel, tell me what you like, tell me what you didn't like. If you have any suggestions for anything that maybe you might know a different way of doing it in Bedrock, tell me. I'm okay with taking criticism. I'm okay with taking advice. I'm okay with taking ideas. Yeah, that's a part of this game. It's a community, and it should be a community and stay that way. No matter what you're on, Java or Bedrock, we're all one and the same. Java just happens to have more bonuses and perks than Bedrock does. But Anyways, so on that note, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.